Jazzcast Pros.
It seems like mouth taping is everywhere right now. From wellness circles to sleep forums, people are sealing their lips at night in hopes of better rest. But does it actually work, or is it another misunderstood health craze? In this episode of the Doze Podcast, I'm unpacking the truth about mouth taping, why people are trying it, who it's really for, and how to know if it's even safe for you. We're going to explore the connection between mouth breathing, sleep-disordered breathing, and what to watch out for before taping your lips shut. Plus, I'm going to share some safer ways to support your airways naturally, from environmental tweaks to tools like our Breathe Balm and medical-grade mouth tapes. Stay tuned because better breathing at night starts with understanding what your body needs, not just following a trend. Hello, I'm Soda Kuchkowski. I'm a sleep health educator and a certified sleep coach. And for over 2 decades, I've been working to transform how we think about sleep. The Doze Podcast is where we do just that, breaking down cultural myths, offering real-life strategies, and today, we're going to be diving deep into one of the most hottest and most controversial sleep trends online, which is mouth taping. Now, you've probably seen it all over your social media feed. Influencers taping their mouths at night, claiming that it stops snoring, it improves their sleep, it even boosts beauty. But before you reach for that mouth tape, I want to talk about what's happening behind this trend and how to decide if it's actually right for you. Now, at its core, mouth taping is exactly what it sounds like, placing a small piece of hopefully medical-grade adhesive over your lips to encourage nasal breathing while you sleep. Now, the theory is that mouth breathing can lead to dry mouth, snoring, fragmented sleep, reduced oxygen intake, and nasal breathing, on the other hand, it filters, humidifies, and warms the air and even helps release nitric oxide, which is the gas that improves oxygen circulation and supports your cardiovascular health. So the idea is not entirely wrong. The issue is in the execution. You know, places like social media often skip the critical step, right? Which is assessing whether mouth breathing is a habit or a symptom of something deeper, like sleep-disordered breathing, most importantly, obstructive sleep apnea. So an important step is to assess before you tape. You know, if you're waking up with dry mouth, morning headaches, unrefreshing sleep, or if your partner says that you snore or even gasp at night, because that's what sleep apnea is, it's the cessation of breath for more than 10 seconds. These can all be red flags of disordered breathing. So I want you to take a second to reflect. Do any of these questions sound like you? Do you often wake up with a dry or sore throat? Have you perhaps ever been told that you stop breathing in your sleep? Do you experience excessive daytime fatigue? What I'm talking about in this situation is falling asleep at times and places that you shouldn't. Perhaps you're someone who, if you're a passenger in the car and it's a little bit warm, you're dozing off. If the lights are turned down during a meeting, you're one that your eyes start to droop, right? If your BMI is over 35, or if you have a history of nasal congestion issues, right? If you answered yes to any of these, I want you to stop right here because you need to be screened for sleep apnea, not just reaching for mouth tape. You know, I always tell my clients, mouth tape should never replace a medical assessment. It's a training tool, not a treatment. So at this time, I think it's important that you take a look at getting a sleep study done. And I'm going to drop a link to our home sleep testing option below because if sleep disordered breathing is present or if you suspect it, it's a sign of something more serious is happening. So I want to make sure that you're getting that evaluated. So you always want to think safety first. That being said, can mouth tape make you choke? For most healthy adults, the answer is no. Your body does have a natural reflex that will wake you or prompt your mouth to open if you do need to breathe. But that safety net only works if your nasal passages are clear and if you don't have any underlying airway issues. You know, if you have congestion, a cold, asthma, low blood pressure, or heart or breathing conditions, my advice to you is to not use mouth tape. Another tip is that the tape should always allow for quick removal and it should never cover the entire mouth and should never cause discomfort. If it feels restrictive, then it's the wrong product for you. And before you even consider using mouth tape, I want you to consider some other factors. Is your room too dry? Low humidity can inflame nasal passages and increase mouth breathing. So I want you to aim for 40 to 50% humidity. A good indication of this too is if you're waking up and you're coughing, or you tend to have dry skin, itchy eyes, right? It can aggravate allergens. Is there dust or pet dander or fragrance in the air? These can irritate the nasal lining and trigger inflammation. So consider using things like an air purifier, right? That's really beneficial for individuals who snore. Try our Breathe Balm product before bed. This is a natural blend of organic coconut oil and therapeutic essential oils, and it helps to support the sinus opening. It reduces inflammation, and it promotes nasal breathing without sealing your lips. And then last, perhaps you might want to try a nose dilator instead. Sometimes the problem is not mouth breathing by choice. It is nasal obstruction by design. And nasal dilators, they gently open the nasal passages from the inside, right? It's just this little piece that goes at the end of your nose, improving airflow without sealing your lips. And they're especially used for people who feel stuffy but test negative for allergies or infection. Because, the solution sometimes is not shutting your mouth, it's opening your airways. You always want to make sure, too, that you are using products that are best rated. So at the Doze, we carry two. The first is the Dream Recovery Mouth Tape. Now, it's made in the United States with organic bamboo silk. It's soft, it's breathable, and it's antibacterial. It's hyperallergenic, and it is made of medical-grade adhesive for a gentle hold. It encourages that nasal breathing and reduces snoring. It's great for sensitive skin and those with mild snoring or dry mouth. And you get 30 pieces for a 1-month supply. But I want to note, anyone under 18, those with nasal obstruction, heart or lung issues, infections, or have used alcohol or sedatives, the recommendation is not to use the mouth tape, right? The second is the Mute Mouth Tape. Now, this is a cotton medical grade adhesive, and it is registered with the FDA, and it offers a partial opening for gentle mouth breathing if needed. And it comes as a small round circle versus a full rectangular piece that covers your whole mouth, so it can ease you into using this type of method. It helps to promote the nasal breathing without the sealed feeling. And it comes in 2 travel boxes with 30 pieces total. But again, if you're under 18, if you have a nasal blockage, obesity, low blood pressure, or heart or breathing disorders, not recommended for you. But both are designed for comfort, not restraint, and both help to retrain you how to breathe through your nose naturally. They're safe options when used properly, but remember, neither is a substitute for diagnosing or treating a medical sleep disorder. Even before jumping in to using mouth tape, you always want to make sure that you're doing some prep work, right? So in order to use it safely and effectively, you want to make sure that your skin is clean and dry, free of oils or lotion so that it stays on, right? You want to test it first, maybe try using the tape for shorter naps before wearing it overnight and jumping right into it. You want to make sure that you position it right. You want to place the tape vertically, not horizontally across the center of your lips. This allows for small mouth openings if needed. You want to confirm you can breathe comfortably through your nose before bed, right? Before taping your mouth shut, you want to make sure that you can actually breathe comfortably through your nose. You want to make sure that when you are taking it off, that you're removing it gently to prevent any type of irritation. And last, I want you to listen to your body. If you wake up feeling anxious or congested or short of breath, I want you to stop using it immediately, okay? So again, if you're considering using mouth tape, I've put together a quick checklist for you, and I will drop it in the show notes. The first is, do I have clear nasal airflow both day and night? And if not, address the congestion, the allergies, or try a nose dilator before jumping into the mouth tape. Am I using mouth taping as a shortcut instead of fixing the root cause? Have you ruled out sleep disordered breathing or sleep apnea with a proper assessment? Is your sleep environment optimized for healthy breathing? Looking at adjusting things like the humidity, reducing allergens, and improving airflow in the room. And have I tried gentler support tools first, starting with things like the Breathe Balm or other non-restrictive options to open up the airways naturally? And last, have I talked with a professional if I'm unsure? You always want to seek guidance before trying any airway-related product. And above all, you want to make sure that if you are using mouth tape, that you're using a medical-grade mouth tape, never household tape. Remember, mouth taping is a tool, not a treatment. The goal is not to silence your mouth. It's to support your body in breathing the way it was designed to, through your nose, deeply and freely. Now that's all I have for you today. And if you found this episode helpful today, do me a favor, share it with someone who's been curious about the mouth taping trend. And please subscribe to the Doze Podcast wherever you listen. As always, everything you need to know today, including links for our products for the Dream Recovery mouth tape, the Mute mouth tape, and the Breathe Balm are all in the show notes. So I'll leave you with this. James Nestor said it best. We're missing the most powerful medicine, the breath. So before you chase another sleep hack, start with the one thing that your body already knows how to do. Breathe better to sleep deeper and wake up to what real rest feels like. Sleep well.